Welcome to the public hearing for the Program Year 49 Community Development Block Grant Annual Action Plan. I am Mary Muzinski, the town CDBG Administrator. Thank you for joining us tonight. We'll start off with a brief presentation to review the process of developing this annual action plan. Then there will be time for comment during the public comment portion of the hearing. First, a few logistics. This is a public hearing, so please be aware that all comments will be included with the corresponding section of the annual action plan along with responses. Any comments received this evening, as well as others received during the comment period, will be considered at the conclusion of the public comment period and will be incorporated into the plan. If comments are not accepted, an explanation will be provided in the plan. First, a bit about CDBG. HUD administers annual grants on a formula basis to states, cities, and counties to develop viable urban communities. The primary objective of the CDBG entitlement program is to develop viable communities by providing decent housing and a suitable living environment and expanding economic opportunities, principally for persons of low and moderate incomes. Low and moderate income is defined as at or below 80% of the area median income. Program Year 49 is the fourth year in a 5-year period for our current Consolidated Plan. Community goals and priority needs are determined for the 5-year Consolidated Plan by review of data, community meetings, public and stakeholder engagement, and North Suburban Consortium member consultations. All proposed projects and programs must address at least one of the town's priority needs, goals, and objectives, and one of HUD's national objectives. The proposed project must meet one of HUD's national objectives, which are listed below. The first is low and moderate area income benefit. This serves persons residing in an area of Arlington where at least 1/3 of the residents make low to moderate income. The second is low to moderate limited clientele. The activity benefits a group of persons rather than residents in a particular area, 51% of whom themselves or their household make a low to moderate income. The following groups are presumed to be eligible: abused children, battered spouses, elderly persons, adults meeting the Bureau of Census current population report's definition of severely disabled, homeless persons, illiterate adults, and persons living with AIDS. The next category is low to moderate housing, and the project will provide or improve permanent residential structures which, upon completion, will be occupied by households that make a low to moderate income. This includes, but is not limited to, acquisition or rehabilitation. Housing can be either owner or renter occupied, units in one-family or multi-family structures. The next category is slum or blighted area. This project is in a designated slum blighted area and is defined under state or local law and will address conditions that qualify the area as slum or blighted. And the last is spot blight. The project will prevent or eliminate specific conditions of blight or physical decay outside a slum area. Activities are limited to clearance, historic preservation, rehabilitation of buildings, but only to the extent necessary to eliminate the conditions detrimental to public health and safety. Our application process begins in early November 2022. And this is to ensure that the public is aware of the program and encourage new applicants. This slide shows the time frame, and we right now are at the public hearing period, and we'll move on to final funding recommendations to be voted on in town meeting at the next step. This is the recommended budget. This copy is small, but we'll go through each category individually on subsequent slides. You notice that each of the categories aligns with one of the priority needs we discussed previously. This application cycle, we received requests for funding in all categories except for economic development. Rehabilitation and housing is just over 1/3 of our budget. Arlington Housing Authority was funded at their level of request, and the Housing Corporation of Arlington was funded at the maximum level within the remaining budget. The overall housing budget is $402,500, which is an increase of nearly $42,500 from last year. Arlington Housing Authority's capital improvement project will replace the Hauser Building's air handler and HVAC exhaust fans, which is estimated to benefit 216 households and a total of 234 individuals. The project will help to preserve affordable housing for seniors and support sustainability and energy efficiency efforts. HCA, this funding will go towards housing unit improvements, including turnover after longtime tenants depart, and to address deferred maintenance at specific locations within HCA's housing portfolio. This project is estimated to benefit 25 households and a total of 65 individuals. For the public services category, public services is governed by a statutory cap, which restricts allocation for this category to 15% of the total budget for the program year. The current cap may change with the addition of program income for program year 49. An amendment will be submitted and updated recommendations may be approved by the CDBG subcommittee after the program income estimates have been received. The program year 49 funding request received totaled $113,294 more than the current cap. This means that unfortunately we were unable to meet the applicant's requests and were able to fund only 9 of the 14 public service requests. The CDBG subcommittee made a difficult determination using the evaluation rubric as a guide of which projects to fund and the level of funding. The following public services requests were not recommended for funding at this time. The Boys and Girls Club Swim Safety Program, as the subcommittee was not able to review the program year 48 accomplishments. The program year 48 Swim Safety Program has not yet started, so there are no reports at this time. The subcommittee also thought the swim safety principles might be able to be addressed during swim lessons. The Arlington Public Schools request, as funding may be duplicative of the Arlington Center for the Arts requests, as the estimated number of individuals benefited from these programs were not as high as the Arlington Center for the Arts requests, as the estimated number of individuals benefited from these programs were not as high as with other requests. And lastly, the Housing Corporation's Civic Engagement Coordinator, as there might be a potential for a conflict of interest. For public facilities and improvements, there were 3 applicants. The first is the Robbins Library. CDBG funds will support the restoration and accessibility improvements for the first floor restrooms at the Robbins Library, which will bring those facilities up to ADA compliance as recommended by the town's ADA Self-Evaluation, Transition, and Implementation Plan. This plan meets HUD's LMA national objective. This project was recommended to be funded at the requested amount. The next project was the Veterans Memorial Park, and CDBG funds will support the renovation of the existing Veterans Honor Roll space in Town Center into an ADA accessible, vibrant park in Town Center. We'll also address improvements to environmental factors, such as adding to the tree canopy to aid in the reduction of a community hotspot, addressing stormwater runoff, and installing solar-powered lighting and equipment. This project supports several of the town goals as stated in Arlington's master plan, the open space and recreational plan, and the net zero plan, and meets HUD's LMA national objective. The subcommittee is determined, since the project is receiving funding elsewhere, it would be funded at $133,486 for program year 49. And the last public facilities and improvements application received was from Arlington on Tap. This was a request to fund one of the 3 proposed water bottle filling stations along the Minuteman Bikeway. This project is intended to reduce single-use plastic bottles and encourage the use of Arlington tap water. The CDBG funding request for this proposed bottle filling station will be located at the Mill Street and the Minuteman Bikeway intersection. This project did not meet one of the HUD's national objectives, so it is not eligible to be funded. The last category is planning and administration, which is also subject to a cap of 20% of the budget, which this year will be $211,787. Duties and responsibilities involve data gathering and analysis, local and comprehensive planning and zoning, affordable housing studies and implementation. These funds will also be used to fund a range of planning activities to help in the creation and preservation of affordable housing and minimize displacement. These activities include studying the needs of extremely low income and underhoused individuals and families to inform future funding applications and the allocation of resources. Identification of resources to preserve homes that are on track to lose affordability due to expiring deed restrictions, and other activities which advance affordable housing planning. Development of additional plans for the Arlington Affordable Housing Trust Fund as needed, planning analyses to advance recommendations in the Connect Arlington Net Zero Action Plan and Housing Plan, and development of the process to update the master plan. The Envision Arlington Annual Town Survey is also funded. As a reminder, your questions will be documented and included in the annual action plan. This is a public hearing, so please be aware that any comments received this evening, as well as others received during the comment period, will be addressed at the conclusion of the public comment period and will be incorporated into the plan. If comments are not accepted, an explanation will be provided in the plan. If you would like to speak, please raise your hand and I'll unmute you. And at that time, please clearly state your name and address and share your comment. Before we move to the public hearing portion of the meeting, I would like to thank you for attending tonight and your interest in our CDBG program. Please remember that comments must be received no later than 4 p.m. on Monday, May 8th, and comments will be included with the annual action plan. Well, thank you very much. If you would please use the raise hand feature if you'd like to make any comments or ask questions. Do just want to remind everybody that this meeting is being recorded. Oops, just 1 moment. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. So if you would please raise your hand if you use the raise hand feature if you would like to make a comment. Janet McGuire.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, Mary. It's nice to meet you finally in person, see you in person anyway. Thank you very much for thinking of Operation Success. I just want to give a little background here and just ask a couple of questions. As you know, well, Operation Success runs down in Naughty Manor. It has been going voluntarily for 24 years, since 1999. And it services the students in school and high school. My question tonight, and I don't know if this is where I asked this, is last year it was funded for $2,600, I think it was. May I ask what the reduction was due to?
We do have a slightly lower budget this year. We might have a adjustment due to program income. I'm still getting that estimate for this year, so we can include that. And if there are any changes, I will notify everyone. That would have to go through the CDBG subcommittee, of course, and then be voted on for approval. And then it also,
Okay.
yeah.
I just want to know that, well, just to make my comment about the last year or two, you know, the pandemic really caused Operation Success to be at a stop for a while. And also the demographics have changed down at Menotomy Manor. And we've done a lot of outreach to parents. Again, you know, a lot of it is cultural. And, you know, so we went around to houses and tried to engage with the parents. We had a parent night. And our main source, our main way of attracting the children is, you know, to go through the kids themselves and making it known through the students. And then once the parents become familiar, it started out very slow. The kids are trying to learn how to be a student again after a few years. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that we're trying to get them back into the feeling of what is education? What does it mean? I just would like to have it considered because, as I said, we started out slow and now we're, as the year has gone on, it started to pick up with the kids. And again, there's volunteers doing this. So none of the money is going towards, you know, the supervising of Operation Success. But I just would like to just be considered if there is more funding to be able to have Operation Success just known for that. That we would like to see if we could ever get more funding for that. We provide the students with, you know, school supplies as well as, you know, access to all the computers at night. We're open throughout the whole academic school year. So if we could be reconsidered for, you know, additional funding, that would be great. And we appreciate you very much, and thank you for all your communication with us and support and explanation whenever we needed it. So thank you very much, and to the CDBG committee as well.
Thank you very much, Janet. Well, definitely, if there are any updates, we'll notify all the subrecipients.
Okay, great. Thank you very, very much. I do have to pick up my grandchildren, so I just wanted that comment. I hope no one takes offense to that. And again, thank you very much. Operation Success is a valuable resource to the students of Arlington and Menotomy Manor. So thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other comments? If you would please use the raise hand function if you'd like to make a comment. All right, we'll give it a few more minutes. I'm not seeing any other any raised hands at the moment. We'll give it a few more minutes, and if we don't have any other comments, we conclude the public hearing.
Mary, I can put your email in the chat just in case if anyone wants to send a comment via email.
Thank you very much. My last name's tricky, so that would be very helpful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Since we don't see any other questions or comments in queue, we will be concluding this public hearing. If you have any questions or if you'd like to submit comments in writing, please send those to me. And just as a reminder, they need to be received no later than noon on May 8th. I'm sorry, 4 p.m. on May 8th. Thank you very much.
Hi, Frank.
Bye.